Hello, and welcome to another episode of EC&M Asks, a Q&A video series in which readers pose their most pressing electrical questions, and our subject matter experts answer. I'm Tommy Northcott, Senior Power Engineer and Branch Manager with Jacobs. Today I'm going to answer some common questions I get related to electrical equipment maintenance. So let's jump right in. If you've read many of my articles or watched the webinars I've done for EC&M, you know that I regularly talk about the direct connection between electrical safety and electrical equipment maintenance. Those discussions often result in someone asking me what maintenance should they do on their equipment. I also regularly get emails asking about specific equipment. What maintenance should be done for transformers? Should we be doing infrared thermography? What kind of electrical tests should be performed on motors? Or should you high pot power cables? And on and on and on. And the reality is that I could spend countless hours going over specific details regarding electrical maintenance for specific equipment types. And you can look forward to future EC&M Ask episodes addressing some of those specific questions. But today, I would like to tell you about some recent development in the world of electrical equipment maintenance that I'm very excited about. But first, I want to give you a brief history to provide some context. In the 1800s, there were several hotel fires blamed on faulty installation of this newly available electricity. The insurance companies that had to cover this property damage lobbied with the government to develop a standard for safe installation requirements for electrical wiring and electrical systems. The government commissioned the National Fire Protection Agency, the NFPA, to generate a code. The NFPA first published the NFPA 70 in 1897. The NFPA 70 is requirements needed for electrical system installations to be safe for the general public to prevent structure fires due to faulty electrical installation practices. Now, there are obviously more nuances to it than just that, but that was and still is the primary objective. In fact, its stated purpose is the practical safeguarding of persons and property from hazards arising from the use of electricity. For many years, electrical workers have widely recognized and used the National Electric Code as the standard to govern appropriate electrical installation practices. Many people even refer to it as the Electrician'S Bible. By the 1950s and 60s, some of these systems started to age and show signs of failure. Because of that, the electrical industry requested some guidance on how to take care of these electrical systems. So in 1968, the NFPA released the NFPA 70B as a recommended practice for electrical equipment maintenance. The 70B was designed for the protection and reliability of electrical equipment. So now that electrical workers were performing maintenance activities on electrical equipment, it became apparent that there was a need for a standard for electrical safety that would be in complete agreement with the National Electric Code. With that in mind, the NFPA commissioned the 70E committee, and the first version of the NFPA 70E was released in 1979. So what this has given the electrical industry is what I like to call the three-legged stool of electrical standards that covers the entire life cycle of electrical equipment and our interaction with it. And simply put, the National Electric Code tells us how you build it. The 70B tells us how you sustain it. And then the 70E tells us how you work with it. That's the difference between these standards. I want you to think of the 70E and the 70B as the how to work on it codes, and with just as much importance as you think of the NEC as the how you build it code. So now on to the new development. Until recently, the NEC was a standard and the 70E was a standard, which means they both are enforceable. But the 70B has only been a recommended practice until a few months ago. The NFPA has recognized the direct connection between electrical equipment maintenance and worker safety. So during the last revision cycle, the NFPA tasked the 70B committee with the goal of converting the recommended practice into a standard. And in January of this year, we officially released the 2023 Standard for Electrical Equipment Maintenance. This means that properly maintaining your electrical equipment is now a requirement. And this is a huge step in the overall safety of our electrical workers. So if you have questions about what maintenance you should perform on your electrical equipment, I strongly encourage you to reference the NFPA 70B Standard for Electrical Equipment Maintenance. It has all the answers you're looking for. Now, that's all the time we have for today, but check back for future episodes addressing some of these maintenance questions and other questions that you send my way. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day.